What's going on? Welcome back. I have an extremely important message for you. Probably the most important thing I could ever say or make a video about. And here it is. It's very important that you do things that are not important. Because we make this super strict, the extremely religious, rigid line between work and play in our culture, right? We're working hard enough and slaving our soul away just to earn enough money to buy ourselves some time in which we can have fun, quote. And that's draining all of our soul and our energy and our fun out of our life, right? We're like, okay, well, let me work a third of my life to afford another third of it that I'm not sleeping to enjoy that third. Maybe if you're not going to school and working two jobs and struggling at home with relationships and kids or whatever. Like, we separate all of this from play. Play is just the extra time that we have left over from all of our responsibilities, right? And that's crazy. That's crazy that we make this distinction in our culture, right? But I saw this saying at one point. There's no quote. I don't know if it was a quote from somebody or if it was paraphrasing, but the idea was that play is not the opposite of seriousness. The opposite of play is cynicism and apathy and unwillingness to learn and listen and observe and participate. That's the opposite of play, because play, having fun, is serious as hell. It's the most serious thing you can do because it's so important, and you have to fucking try in a way. Like, you have to work at playing, right? Because it's so ingrained in our culture not to. That the act of rebellion that is having fun, doing whatever you're doing in your life. Like, imagine in the Alan Watts video, right? He talks about how this concept basically, but he talks about like a bus driver, right? And that bus driver can either see his job as the most annoying, harassed, difficult, stressful, exhausting thing he could be doing, and get home from work at the end of the day like drained and tired and miserable and unhappy, because he sees it as a job and he sees it as a sort of slavery, a sort of like groaning existence to afford his leisure time. But the alternative is if this bus driver sees his life as a challenge, as an excitement, as a game. Like, imagine you're playing like a game. You're trying to avoid this traffic. You're trying to get through here. You're picking up these people. These people have expectations. You're trying to do this. You're trying to juggle all these things. See it as if you were playing guitar, or if you were performing a dance or a song or something like that, and it becomes play. You can socialize in that way with the people, rather than seeing them as customers. You see them as engagements, and I think that's a really beautiful way to live your life entirely, even if you're not at work. If you're doing, with your kids, I think a lot of us, myself included, sometimes I get in the mindset of being a parent rather than playing with my child, which is parenting. But I think the parent trap is that we might get so caught up in trying to protect them and trying to be their parent and be their guardian and be their enforcer of rules and things like that, that you don't remember to play with them and to learn from them about like how fun life is, So like, play, man, do more play. Play as often as you can, wherever you are, even if you're like waiting in line at a Starbucks. Like, instead of like checking your phone, right? You're like on your phone waiting for your drink. You're like, oh, it's taking forever. Like, I got shit to do. What do you actually have to do? Go somewhere else to be miserable? Like, we're being miserable on our way to go do more miserable things in our head, right? It's all about how you perceive it. And you're like, oh, I gotta get through this, so because I'm gonna be late for this misery, and then if I'm late for that misery, my boss is gonna make me more miserable than I'm already while I'm at work. And it's just like, we're choosing this. We're actually choosing this. Like, you don't have to be miserable at work. You don't have to be miserable every other time other than when you have downtime, right? Or you're scrolling through TikTok or whatever the fuck. Like, we can be happy all the time. We can enjoy what we're doing, and that's not to say we won't have down periods and difficult times and stress. Like, that's a thing, but try as often as you can, at least, to like take back the control of this work play rigidity. It doesn't have to be like that. We're trying to straighten out a wiggly world, as Alan Watts says, and it's true. This world is not meant to be straightened out and organized and put into little boxes of work and play and sleep and eat and shit and be responsible, and then like a little bit of that you can have fun, you can play a video game or whatever. Like, let's just fuck around, y'all. Like, this is not so serious. Like, that's why there's one of the reasons why there's so many problems in the world, right? Is because we're taking everything so seriously that it loses all of the fun and the excitement and the joy, unless we're riding a roller coaster. Like, everything can be a roller coaster. That's it. That's the most important thing you will ever hear. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your time and your attention. And I'll see you on the next one. Go have fun.